everybody. This is Iram from Alamkul, and today we will be learning about the carbon and its compound chapter of class 10th, and the topic is your hydrocarbons. So, hydrocarbons basically means the two things. First of all, your hydrogen, and the second is your carbon. Okay, these two things must be there in the hydrocarbons. So, like for example, CH4. CH4 is what? One your carbon and your four hydrogen, C2H6, two carbon, six hydrogen, C2H4, C2H2. These are hydrocarbons, means your hydrogen is also included as well as your carbon is also included. So this can be classified into two types. First of all, your saturated hydrocarbons, and the second one is your unsaturated hydrocarbon. So what is saturated hydrocarbons? In a simple way, your saturated hydrocarbon is a single bond. Single bond means your alkane. Okay, CH4 में there will be single bond है ना, यहाँ पर H. So this is a single bond saturated hydrocarbons. So the hydrocarbons in which all the carbon atoms are linked by only single covalent bonds. ठीक है, जहाँ पर single covalent bonds जो है हाइड्रोजन कार्बन के साथ बनाता है उसको क्या बोलते हैं? Saturated hydrocarbons, which are also known as alkanes, and the double and triples are known as alkenes. Alkenes is known as your double bond, and triple is known as your alkynes. And the general formula of alkane is this: CnH2n plus 2. This is the general formula of alkane. Now here, if we will put n is what? N is the number of carbon atoms in one molecule of hydrogen, and if we are putting the value of n is equals to 1, then it will be CH4, which is known as methane. And if we are putting the value of n is equals to 2, so it will be C2H6, which is your ethane, right? So saturated means single, which are known as alkane hydrocarbons. Unsaturated means double or triple bonds or the multiple bonds, which is present along with a single bond. It's not like there will be only double, triple bond. No, there will be some single bond and some sort of a double bonds or your triple bonds. So these are known as unsaturated compounds. So the alkenes and your alkynes. Okay, so here hydrocarbon is of two types: hydrogen, carbon. Example is this CH4, C2H6. Hydrocarbon is of two types. First of all, your saturated, unsaturated. Saturated means carbon linked with a single covalent bond is known as your saturated, which are known as alkanes, and there will be only single bond, and the general formula is CnH2n plus 2. We can take example of n as 2, 3, 4, 5, anything. Unsaturated means at least one double or triple bond. So alkenes or alkynes. So here this is double bond, which is your alkene. Even your single bond is also included. And here is your triple bond, which is known as alkynes. Okay, so here alkenes is what? At least one double bond should be there, and the general formula is CnH2n. Alkynes is what? At least one triple bond should be there. Like here, your triple bond is here, and in the double bond, which is alkene, at least one double bond should be there. General formula of alkane is what? CnH2n plus 2. This is of alkane. What about alkene? Alkene is CnH2n. Okay, alkene is CnH2n. And what about alkyne? Alkyne is your CnH2n minus 2. So these are the three types of your hydrocarbons, which are saturated and unsaturated. Now we will discuss about the isomerism. So what is isomerism? Isomerism means which will have same molecular formula, like for example CH4, or we can take okay, further we will discuss the example. So which will have the same molecular formula like C2H, C2, like something, but they will have the different structure, okay, but different chemical and physical property. Same molecular formula but different structures. So these are known as your structural isomers. So different in properties. Why they are in different in properties or different in structures? Why? Because due to the difference in their structure. ठीक है। प्रॉपर्टीज में अलग क्यों रहते हैं? क्योंकि उनके स्ट्रक्चर अलग अलग होते हैं। स्ट्रक्चर अलग होते हैं लेकिन मॉलिक्यूलर फॉर्मूला इज सेम, so that a particular scenario or that particular thing is known as your structural isomerism. Now here we will see what are functional groups. Functional groups, homologous series. So these are the very important topics in the chemistry. Here in this is your chlorine, bromine, chlorine, iodine, right? Chloro, bromo, fluoro, iodo, which is the substituents of these are like this: Cl, Br, Fi. Alcohol is OH, aldehyde CHO, ketone is CO, and carboxylic acid is COOH. So now here we will discuss about the homologous series. What is, like, if I'm writing CH4? Uh, okay. Here, like, if n is equals to 1, so what is n? N is actually the number of your carbon atoms which are positive in integers. We will never see like we are writing n is equal to -1. No, we will never write like this. We will always write like n is equal to 1, 2, 3 पॉजिटिव इंटीजर्स। ठीक है, जो पॉजिटिव से होकर एकदम इन्फिनाइट तक जाए वो होते हैं n की वैल्यू। तो यहाँ पे डिस्कस करेंगे व्हाट इज होमोलॉगस सीरीज। सो हियर वी आर कंसीडरिंग द नंबर ऑफ कार्बन एटम्स, एल्केन, alkenes and alkyne. Alkene means double bond, alkyne means triple bond, and these are the general formula we already discussed. Here, if I'm writing n is equals to 1, so, and if I put n is equal to 1, so this is what? 2 plus 2, which is CH4. So there will be a structure of CH4, 1 carbon and 4 hydrogen. And here, if I'm writing n is equals to 1, C1H2. So this is never possible. Why? Because carbon will have four hydrogen bond, but here carbon is having only two hydrogen bonds. So this is not possible. Here also C, if n is equals to 1, I'm taking C1H2 minus 2 means C1H0. No, this is also not possible. So for n is equals to 1 in alkenes and in alkynes, both the the n is equal to 1 is not possible in these two. If n is equals to 2, I'm writing, so this is the structural formula. Your 2 carbon and your 6 hydrogen. N is equals to 3, so 3 carbons, 8 hydrogen. Here also, here it is also possible. Your 2 hydrogens, this is your alkenes, Y double bond. Here also it is possible. 2 carbons and 2 hydrogen, which is your C2H2 triple bonds, that which is known as your alkynes. ठीक है। एंड यहाँ पर नोटिस करोगे आप लोग कि यहाँ पर क्या है कि C2H6 है एंड C3H8 है, सो द डिफरेंस इज व्हाट? CH2, CH2 का डिफरेंस है। ऑलवेज देयर विल बी ए डिफरेंस ऑफ CH2 इन योर होमोलॉगस सीरीज। जैसे यहाँ पर अगर देख रहे हैं CH4 C2H6, सो द डिफरेंस इज CH2, राइट? 6 में से 4 गया, 2 बचा, 2 में से 1 गया, 1 बचा, सो CH2। यहाँ पे भी डिफरेंस कितना है? CH2. So difference is CH2. Here also, if you will see, this is your C2H4 and here C3H6. So the difference is what? C2H, sorry, CH2. यहाँ पर भी क्या होता है कि two carbons and two hydrogen means C2H2, and here 3 carbons, 4 hydrogen. So we will write like this. So it will be C3H4. So here your difference is basically CH2. ठीक है, तो CH2 ही डिफरेंस होता है। Here n is equals to 4, so C4H10, C5H12, all, if we will, like, all the differences is of CH2 only. Okay, so this is what your functional groups. Carbon can also form bonds with other elements such as halogens. कार्बन जो है वो अलग अलग चीजों से, अलग अलग एलिमेंट से बॉन्ड्स बना सकता है, लाइक हैलोजेंस, ऑक्सीजन, नाइट्रोजन, सल्फर एक्सेट्रा, एंड दीज आर कॉल्ड heteroatoms. इसको क्या बोलते हैं? Carbon is making bond with the other elements, so these are known as heteroatoms. Heteroatoms are present in a form of group of atoms, and these atoms or a group of atoms replace one or more hydrogen atoms. See what they will do. If the hydrocarbon thing is there, means the hydrogen and carbon. Hydrocarbon means your hydrogen and carbon, and if heteroatom is coming, means your nitrogen, or we can say oxygen. If oxygen is coming, then oxygen will replace one of the hydrogens from your hydrocarbon group. Okay, so the replacement of one or more hydrogen atoms of the hydrocarbon, because of what? Because of your heteroatom. So उसी को क्या बोलते हैं? फंक्शनल ग्रुप। मतलब वैसा वो फंक्शनल ग्रुप वो होता है कि जो कि हाइड्रोजन को जो है, हाइड्रोजन एटम को जो है रिप्लेस कर दे। उसके हाइड्रोकार्बन से जब वो हाइड्रोजन को रिप्लेस करता है कोई भी एक हेट्रो एटम्स, तो उसको क्या बोलते हैं, दीज आर कॉल्ड एज फंक्शनल ग्रुप। जैसे यहाँ पर हो गया क्लोरीन, bromine, fluorine, iodine. So these are doing what? These are replacing your hydrogen atoms. So these are known as your functional groups, which will replace your hydrogen atom, and these are also known as your heteroatoms. ठीक है? Thus, the functional group may be defined as an atom or group of atoms which makes a carbon compound reactive and decide its properties regardless of the length and nature of the carbon chain. So this is basically your functional group. तो इसमें क्या क्या होता है, these contains your these things, so these things you have to learn, ठीक है, याद करना जरूरी है, एग्जाम्स में इससे बहुत क्वेश्चंस आते हैं. What is homologous series? So here we discussed homologous series. In the alkene and alkyne part, your n is equals to 1 is never possible. So this is a series of similarly constituent compounds in which the members present have the same functional group and similar properties. They will have what? They will have the same functional group and similar properties with the difference of the CH2. So these are known as your homologous series, or like these are what? These are the members of your alkane family. Why alkane family? Because they all are consisting only a single bond. If it will write your alkene family, so it will be considering your double bond. Alkyne, so the triple bond. ठीक है? So what we discussed about the hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbon means hydrogen and a carbon. Saturated, unsaturated. Saturated means your single bond, means alkanes. Unsaturated means your double as well as your triple bond, alkenes and alkynes. And we saw some of the examples. If we will take n is equals to 1, n is equals to 5, then we'll get a lot of examples. Here alkene, at least one double bond should be there. This you have to learn a general formula, बहुत important होता है. Alkynes, one or more triple bonds should be present. So this is the general formula. With the help of general formula, we can easily put the value of n as much as we want, and we can easily draw a structure. And here, what we discussed in the isomers means same molecular formula, but what they will have is different physical property. Physical property मतलब क्या होता है? They will have difference in their structure में difference होगा. So that structure में difference कैसे होगा, that we will discuss in the next lecture. And here we discussed about the functional group. So this you have to learn, functional group क्या क्या होते हैं. Let me erase this. Chlorine, bromine, fluorine, iodine, and here alkane, alkenes, alkynes, and there will be a difference of CH2 group. And here what is happening, your these functional groups are replacing your hydrogen atoms, and this is only known as your functional group or the heteroatom. Okay, homologous series, single, double, and triple bonds. So that's it for today. In the next class, we will discuss about your lots of examples, your nomenclature, UPAC name, वो सब discuss करेंगे. Okay, so thank you everybody. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.